What is up? What is up, YouTube? Let's see what this bad boy is all about. Hey, Ronnie Bo is in here. I guess Ronnie Bo is not even in the he's not in the title, man. It's Matthew Cox. Shout out to Matthew Cox. I'm a little under the weather, man. I'm in the Philippines, y'all. Got my niece over here. The niece is working on answering comments and everything. My beautiful niece, my Filipino niece. Yeah. They show love, man. They show a lot of love. So they say, Uncle Mike, you sick? I said, yeah, I'm a little sick, but we gotta do these videos. So check this out, man. I'm showing Ronnie Bo some love from all the way from the Philippines. So y'all hit that subscribe button. Hit that bell. This joint says Jay-Z is cooked. Whistleblower leaks new details on Hollywood active cover-up. An active cover-up. And this is the Jay-Z's son. Allegedly, you gotta say allegedly. So anyway, y'all hit that subscribe button. Hit that bell, baby. Let's check this bad boy out.
Jay-Z has a son named 𝗟𝗡𝗡𝗞𝗦, and you see how old 𝗟𝗡𝗡𝗞's mother was.
That's Ronnie Bo right there, y'all. Here we go.
Jay-Z has a son named 𝗟𝗡𝗡𝗞𝗦, and you see how old 𝗟𝗡𝗡𝗞's mother was at this time. R. Kelly confirmed it. A lot of these people really worship Satan. Jay-Z's friend, 𝗗𝗓𝗡, orchestrated the hit. Don't interview Ronnie Bo because I got to cease and desist against him.
R. Kelly, how does he enter into this whole situation?
When R. Kelly arrived to MCC Chicago, I was on Unit 15. He went straight to what people know as protective custody. My cellmate was a vice lord, and I was cool with these Latin King brothers, and they was like running the Latin King. So I felt like I could basically ensure R. Kelly that he would be safe.
Hey guys, Uncle Mike here with big news. YouTube has changed my life, and now it's your turn. See, Uncle Mike was tired of being broke after every payday. So I decided to do something about it. So I invested over about $9,000 in YouTube courses and online coaching. Man, I was determined to change. But guess what? None of these systems gave me the one-on-one coaching that I needed. So I created my own YouTube course with the help that you need to make sure that you succeed. If you're ready to learn and you're not afraid to put in the work, you too can make a real change. Sign up now and Uncle Mike will send you the 4 videos that got me started. 100% free. Click the word more below and look for our YouTube growth system. That's our course. Now, let's get back to this video.
On general population, I can imagine he was probably scared at first to be on general population, but he wasn't even convicted yet. I was actually in MCC Chicago for being framed in a drug distribution case. So I felt like it's a chance maybe he is innocent. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
I want to give you an opportunity to tell your side of the story through me. I had sent a kite to R. Kelly through this dude named Keith Davis, who I actually befriended, and he was actually in the hole. And you know, protective custody in the hole is basically the same in the Fed. So I had managed to get a note to him, and he wasn't far from where R. Kelly's house. So he basically told him, like, man, the guys on general population said, like, you good, bro. Like, they don't think you did it. You know what I'm saying? You would be better off during your time on general population, because then you have access to the phone all the time. You could send emails all the time, and you can move around. Once R. Kelly got the word and felt comfortable, and his attorney put the paperwork in and got him on general population. But when he first got out of general population, again, I was on Unit 15, and they moved him to Unit 19. They put me on Unit 19, where R. Kelly was.
Was that arranged or just a coincidence?
Yeah, it was a coincidence.
Oh, okay.
But, you know, when I got there on the same unit with him, I was able to actually talk to him every day about, you know, the book and other things. He never really agreed to do the book. I just took notes from, you know, some of the things we talked about together, and later, you know, decided to put some of these stories in other books. It's a part of my life now. It's not just I'm writing a book about R. Kelly. Like, I was in MCC Chicago. I met him. We had these talks. So it's my story now.
So you're having in-depth conversations with R. Kelly about this ring that exists or rings that exist. And like at that time, Diddy hadn't even been arrested yet, right? Nothing had happened.
No. This was 2019 when I first...
rumors. This is just back when there's still just rumors.
Yeah.
So what happened? What are some of those conversations? Okay. Like, I mean, you don't have to get into, super in depth into them, but you just touch on them.
We initially started off discussing simple things like how the music industry is ran as far as business, but that was my way of like breaking the ice with him. Of course, I wanted to know more in-depth things like these so-called conspiracy theories. Like, do people really like sell their soul, and what do that mean when they sell their soul, and what do people have to do and stuff like that? And the first time I actually addressed that to him, and so he basically sarcastically said that, what you think going on with me right now? You know what I'm saying? I wasn't in compliance with what they wanted me to do. So, you know what I'm saying? If I were to continue to live how they wanted me to live and participate in things that they wanted me to participate in, this would have never happened. You know what I mean? But that's why I'm here. You know what I'm saying? They lynching me because I tried to fall back from certain activities. A lot of those activities are what people been speculating, you know what I mean? Like, people have to degrade themselves. Some people, it's a science behind sacrificing a loved one. Even Jesus was a blood sacrifice, you know what I mean? And that's like the people who run the music industry, they, some of us are Christians or Muslims. We believe in God or Buddhism or whatever, but a lot of these people really worship and believe in Satan and the devil, and they have certain practices that most people wouldn't understand. Like, why would you have to sign a contract in blood? Why would you have to sacrifice a loved one? Like, most people can't even fathom the idea of that, you know what I mean? But R. Kelly confirmed it. A lot of those things go on.
But you did end up writing a book. I mean, I understand it wasn't specifically about R. Kelly, but you wrote a book about kind of the industry. What does the book kind of cover?
Well, I got a book out called The Holy Trap Scriptures. In that book, there's a chapter entitled The Media. So I go into the music industry and other aspects of the media in that particular chapter. But recently, I published a book called Challenging the Illuminati. I go a lot more in depth into music, the music industry, the impact and the influence that music has on the minds of people in general, especially the youth, you know what I mean, who not mature enough to think for themselves. The music kind of teaches them how to think and program them to perceive life in a certain way and feel like they not in the in crowd if they don't dress a certain way, act a certain way, if they don't behave in a way that make them seem like macho man and tough guys. They in today's culture, it's like you have to, well, you don't have to, but most of the youth, especially like young black kids, teenagers and young black men, they feel like you not acceptable or respected in the streets if you can't say you somebody. And that's what the music is teaching them. I go a lot into depth about things like that and even deeper things as far as, sacrifices and things of that nature.
When you say sacrifice, you're talking about like sacrificing family members, sacrificing their dignity, kind of like the Cat Williams thing. How amazing is that? The Cat Williams interview. He sounded a little bit like a crackpot, and within 6 months, boom, boom, people just start getting knocked off.
You talking about the one with Shannon Sharp?
Yeah, where he's saying, "Oh, wait, you wait and see." He's like, "Oh yeah, watch. People are about to start. 2000. What did he say? 2025." He said. Was it?
He said something like, or 2024 is the year people will be exposed.
He sounded like
lies will be exposed.
Sounded like it was sour grapes a little bit, but then within months, bam, bam, just one person after another getting hit with indictments, murdered, being exposed.
Cat Williams, a prophet, that was prophetic of him to speak that into existence. Like he had to see something and probably know something even. But you're absolutely right. I think that interview actually encouraged more people to speak out about things, because for so long, like, you would never expect somebody like Cat Williams to go on a show like Club Shay Shay or whatever and speak about certain things, because like even today, like a lot of podcasters tell me I can't speak about certain things, and that put me in a frame of mind that y'all compromise, y'all working for somebody, you know what I'm saying? Why I can't speak about this, that, and the other, you know what I mean? I could talk about this, like, so it shows that they trying to push a certain narrative, you know what I mean? So it was like surprising knowing how the media work, and for them to allow Cat Williams to go viral off that. Usually interviews like that get banned. Like, you got to think about Jaguar Wright interview with Piers Morgan when she was exposing Jay-Z. Like, Jay-Z wasn't concerned with what she was saying at first, but when she went on Piers Morgan's show, which is like more so mainstream, now it's like, okay, now we got to do something about this, because now she reaching the world and she reaching a major audience. So people gonna start taking heed to what she's saying.
Well, I don't think Cat Williams was worried, because I think, most people wouldn't say something because they'd be afraid it was career ending, right? But part of Cat Williams' interview was about how, because he wasn't willing to do these things, his career hasn't blown up the way it should have, because he's fucking hilarious, right? Like, he's one of the funniest comedians out there. And yet, why is it he explains very clearly, like, I didn't get this role because I was unwilling to do this. Didn't get this role because I was unwilling to do this. Didn't get that, and all these other roles were going to other people, even though I was, I'm selling out arenas, I'm funny, I'm charismatic, I can act. I've been in several big films already that were hits. But because I wasn't willing to do the things, I'm not willing to wear a dress, I'm not willing to play a gay guy, I'm not willing to, like, these should be minor things that any actor will say, well, I don't want to do that, I don't want to do that. There are big time actors that will, like, well, I won't have a romantic scene with someone, like, I won't make out with another woman. Why? Because I'm a Christian, I'm married to my wife, I'm just not going to make out with someone, and they work around it. So he I think he probably felt like he was already on a bad path, so he didn't have anything to lose. But a lot of people wouldn't say that. A lot of people that probably have the same information won't say anything because their career is going the way they want it to go.
It's me, Ronnie Bo. I'm finally in the studio with my good friend Matthew Cox. Make sure y'all watch this whole interview in full, because I have some great announcements. One is that my new book, Conspiracy to Colonize Our Culture, the link is in the description. Y'all gonna love it. The things that you was just speaking upon with regards to Cat Williams, like, he is one of the greatest comedians of all times, and it's definitely a reason why he didn't get the opportunities that he deserved. And the same is true for R. Kelly. Like, for the record, I'm not trying to take up for R. Kelly, but a lot of the things that he spoke upon are believable to me, because R. Kelly, even to this day, he one of the most accomplished musicians, R&B singers ever, if not number one. And if it wasn't for him, not willing to do certain things, he would be at the top of the game right now, because you got to think of all the people he wrote songs for. He even wrote songs for Michael Jackson, you know what I mean? And a lot of other big name celebrities and singers, but he didn't get the rewards that he rightfully deserved. And with regards to his accomplishments, like, his music catalog alone was worth $1.2 billion, right? And it was worth that much before they named Jay-Z a billionaire and before they named Diddy a billionaire, But we saw R. Kelly's career start to decline, and that's rare, and there's something strange about that, with him being as successful as he was and being a songwriter and having a catalog worth $1.2 billion it indicates there's something behind the scenes was going on. Like, and according to him, you know, there was things behind the scenes going on. And one was that he wasn't in compliance with certain agendas. He wanted to produce different type of music. They wanted him to over-sexualize his music. And they actually wanted him to do some very derogatory, degrading things to be a man, you know what I'm saying? A man who respect and honor your manhood, you know what I mean? So he was punished for his lack of compliance, you know? And the whole time we had people out here like Jay-Z, who seemingly is just a genius businessman, and he got all these accomplishments. Now he supposed to be worth $2.5 billion. And his circumstances is just now turning into what it seems like R. Kelly went through. If you could remember back in like 2001 or 2002, R. Kelly was charged back then with doing some things with a 14-year-old girl.
All right.
And now fast forward to today, Jay-Z is being investigated for that and being sued already for doing some things with a 13-year-old girl, you know, a year younger than the one that R. Kelly was initially indicted for, you know. So you got to think about why now, you know what I mean? Is it because they realizing that they don't really need Jay-Z no more? Because I'm pretty sure that the incident that Jay-Z is involved in with the 13-year-old girl happened around the time that R. Kelly was charged for doing things with a 14-year-old girl. If you look at my previous interviews, like I first went viral in the beginning of 2023 about, you know, my situation with R. Kelly. And even since then, I was telling the public, not just indirectly, but sometimes directly, that the same thing that people look down on R. Kelly for, Jay-Z was engaged in the same type of activity. So my only point was, why y'all still honor him? Because y'all think he didn't, or because y'all don't know? Like, some of the facts was out there, like his artist Foxy Brown, you know what I mean? Even his business partner Dame Dash said he never wanted to sign Foxy Brown or didn't want dealings with her because of her age. But Jay-Z signed her. He had songs with her where they talking about sex and stuff like that. And she was only 15 at the time, and Jay-Z was 27. Not only that, but allegedly Jay-Z has a son named Rymir who been coming.
Yeah, I ain't even know that. Did he say 27?
Wanted to sign Foxy Brown or didn't want dealings with her because of her age. But Jay-Z signed her. He had songs with her where they talking about sex and stuff like that. And she was only 15 at the time, and Jay-Z was 27. Not only that, but allegedly Jay-Z has a son named Rymir who been coming forward and been in the media a lot lately. And he been fighting for a paternity test for a while now, you know. And if Jay-Z was to ever take the paternity test, I'm pretty sure that Rymir would come out to be his son. But that's not the issue. The issue is that when you go back in time and you see when Rymir was born, and you see how old Rymir's mother was at this time, you know, you will see that he had an underage girl pregnant all the way back then. So of course he's not going to want to take the paternity test. You know what I mean? Because that's proof that you were a grown man with an underage girl.
Amir's trying to get Jay-Z to take a blood test because they want what? Back child support or something along those lines. Or he wants to be know that this is my father. He probably, that alone, even if he remove child support, you at the very least want to know this who's my father. Jay-Z doesn't want to take it because he doesn't want to, if he is the father, then that's 100% proof. So he doesn't want that out there. Yeah. It always kills me, the guys that dodge, child support. It's like, okay, well, if you know that's not your kid, then take the test.
Yeah.
Like, what's the problem? The only reason for you to dodge, I have experience. I have a buddy who they're constantly looking for. The only reason is because, there's a chance You know, if you're 100% positive, like, just I've never had sex with that chick. I don't know who that chick is. They'll take the test, no problem.
See, Ramir basically made it clear that he not doing this because he want money from it. He want to be able to confirm what his mom said about Jay-Z being his father. Okay. And he said, that's it. But of course, Jay-Z don't want to go through the process, because if it's concluded that he is indeed the father, then we got to rewind the history back and say, well, she had this child when she was 16. So, and that's proof.
And his mom is still around?
No, his mom died mysteriously after publicizing that Jay-Z was the father to her son.
Oh man, another
A lot
death.
of people mysteriously dying in this kind of murky world of hip hop, and it's a dark world. You know, there's a lot of, you know, it's so funny because like the conspiracies, I hate. I don't even want to say conspiracies anymore. I don't know how else to say it, but it's not even like it's conspiracies, because like every time I say that, oh yeah, it's just a conspiracy. That's conspiracy theory. That doesn't mean anything. 6 months later, 2 years later, you find out, oh, actually, no, that's true. Really, you know. Like all this stuff that's coming out about Jay-Z and all that stuff that is happening with you, and that's all pretty recent. You get out of prison, you start kind of publicizing this, right? And you start going on the podcasts and stuff, and you're pretty vocal about it. What happened? I mean, you know,
Are we getting it when I got shot? 3 months after I first went viral talking about Jay-Z, or was it 2 months?
Well, or you
March, April, May, June. You 3 months.
And you did some videos and you start talking about this, right? So you start talking about it, you go on a bunch of podcasts, it gets a bunch of views.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, obviously Jay-Z's not happy about it, right? You know what's funny is, like, if you didn't get any traction, he would shrug it off. Or maybe if there's no truth to it, right? Then he would just shrug it off. Like, there's no truth to that, and that's just somebody just running his mouth, and that don't mean nothing. The concern is it gets traction, people start looking into it, and they find out it's true, right? So that's the real concern. Because if somebody lying about you and saying something, and you're a celebrity, you just chalk it up to that's just par for the course. That's just what comes along with it. But you start getting traction on it. At one point, you're obviously becoming a problem. At one point, Jay-Z, I mean, at least according to the FBI, right? And you sent me I want to say it was an FBI 302, but anyway, it was basically a document from the FBI where the FBI says that someone who had been, I want to say, a confidential informant for them, let them know that somebody associated with Jay-Z had said that Jay-Z had put a hit out on you. Sorry. You know, which in and of itself really doesn't mean anything, right? Like, it could just be some guy talking. Not that I think that the FBI would take that person seriously unless they were like a trusted CI. But the fact is, you end up getting shot. Like, what happened? Like, they're trying to shut you down. The FBI is notified that there's a potential hit, because I think if the FBI had known that beforehand and taken it super serious, then they probably would have tried to reach out to you, right? Like, they know where you are. You're on probation. You just got out of prison. So I think they probably didn't take it super serious, or maybe they were looking into it, or maybe they got that document at the same time or just afterwards. I don't forget when it was. It was just before or just after when they were told. I think the document was dated after. So anyway, you end up getting shot. I mean, what happened with that?
Allegedly traveled to Brooklyn, New York to do a publicity stunt in Marcy Projects, where Jay-Z grew up at. And allegedly, while I was there, I got shot. So fast forwarding it up to the statement that you read, which is filed in federal court, FBI informant, they wasn't like telling on me. Like, I could be in trouble if they could find out that I was actually here, and I could only get in trouble because I didn't report the incident to my PO, and that I didn't report that I was traveling to New York. You know what I mean? That's if that's the truth. I could get in trouble for that. But they was telling on Jay-Z's friend 𝗗𝗓 saying that he orchestrated it. Like they wasn't even directly telling on Jay-Z. They were saying this dude 𝗗𝗓, who they identify as a close friend of Jay-Z, orchestrated the hit. You know what I mean? And when they questioned me about it, I said it didn't happen. And of course, I grew up under the growth and development movement, which was formerly led by Larry Hoover, and I live by certain principles and values. And one of those, you know, is just not, we can't tell on people, you know what I mean? Whether he did it or not, like I can't tell on Jay-Z. That's just, you know, totally against what I stand for, and totally against what, you know, all of my close associates stand for. So I wouldn't even be looked at the same if I was to say, I know Jay-Z has something to do with me getting shot, especially to the FBI. You know what I mean? If I want to later come out and start speaking on these things publicly, you know, I mean, people may even consider that snitching. But, you know,
wow.
Just to sum it up, I just can't, whether it's true or not, I can't and won't tell on Jay-Z. And this happened before his situation with the 13-year-old. So when I looked at that, it's like, what do Jay-Z got going on? It's
Even before the lawsuit.
Yes.
Not before the incident, but before the lawsuit was even filed.
Yes. So that shows that they've been investigating him for things. And even before the lawsuit with the 13-year-old came up, there were YouTubers saying that Jay-Z isn't under investigation because of me. You know what I mean? People even said that I told on Jay-Z. Like, the statement shows I didn't tell on him. If you go back and look at the interviews, I never even told on him or admitted to anything publicly. However, fast forwarding it to now, you know, if he has something to do with that, of course, we talked about this before. He feel like I can't go that route no more because now I'm hot, you know what I mean? And it's gonna come back to me. So now I gotta find another way to silence this dude or get him locked up or whatever I gotta do to keep him from destroying my legacy and my reputation. Like, and that was confirmed by Sean Kelly saying that Jay-Z reached out to him about the interview. Like, that, again, that would have been a huge opportunity for me. And if I would have had the chance to speak on these things on that platform, that would have led to other opportunities. And that's what he fears. He don't want
you to have the opportunity to continue to spread this message. So
yes,
I do have a question. When you got shot, like, did you see the guy? Was it at a distance? Right. Okay, so all right, so scratch that. So anyway,
oh, you ain't got to scratch it, but
no, I'm saying, so all right, so we're not going to get anywhere there. Did anybody reach out to you and say, hey, you need to tone it down, you need to step back, anything like that?
Yeah, I was getting a lot of that. I was getting death threats. I was getting certain podcasters who wanted to interview me would say things like, I don't think you should say this about Jay-Z. And I felt like maybe Jay-Z had his hands tied into them somewhere, like recently. You text me or called me the other day and told me that Sean Kelly, who was reaching out to do an interview with me, right?
Right.
Now, that would have been a major opportunity. He won Podcast of the Year last year. And just so happened, you text me and say, hey, Sean Kelly reached out and said he wanted to interview you, but did you say Jay-Z contacted him or Jay-Z attorney or?
He actually, what he said was, I saw your interview with Ronnie Bo. Jay-Z sent me a cease and desist, so I probably can't have him on. I know he was reaching out to us on email. Great interview, though.
Okay.
And I responded, why did you receive a cease and desist? Like, it didn't make sense. Like, why would he receive a cease and desist if he hadn't interviewed you yet? You see what I'm saying? Like, why would anybody? And then I didn't know by who. Well, I mean, he said by Jay-Z, but Jay-Z's not probably sending out anything. It's his lawyer. So then he sends me a copy of the cease and desist. And in the cease and desist, it's not a cease and desist from Jay-Z's attorney to him. It's a copy of a cease and desist that was sent to your attorney. I'm sorry, to your probation officer. And so, and it's just, cease and desist regarding conspiracy orchestrated by, Ronnie, and you mind if I say your last name?
Go ahead.
Ronnie Martin, and it's written to your probation officer. And then it goes on to basically say that you're like alleging, a complete conspiracy and the whole thing. So I told Sean Kelly, I said, this is the Ronnie's PO, not you. And he goes, I got it emailed to me. And I put, understood, sounds like they're trying to shut poor Ronnie down. And he goes, you didn't get one? And then I never even responded to that.
That indicates exactly what you said. They trying to shut me down. And from his words, he said that Jay-Z reached out to him. And then he showed the cease and desist. So I'm thinking, it seems to me that he actually communicated with Jay-Z, and Jay-Z told him, don't interview me because now y'all put me on what was just rewarded the #1 podcast in the world. So that type of exposure, when you get that type of exposure, it seems to the public like you more credible. And that's what they want to prevent. Like, as long as the public saying you lying and you not credible, then they probably won't even care. It don't even concern them. But as soon as the public start looking into it and saying, well, he was just on Digital Social Hour with Kelly and he went viral on Matthew Cox, and now it's hundreds of thousands of people, maybe even millions of people talking about what Ronnie Bo got to say about Jay-Z. Now I'm becoming a bigger influence, and that's what they feared. Like the case with Jaguar Wright, Piers Morgan, now she's being taken serious. You know what I mean? Now you got your lawyer reaching out to Piers Morgan saying, we will sue you, take the interview down. Like why? You know what I mean? Like if she lying or whatever, I can understand they can still shatter your image, but why you all of a sudden taking it serious? And then that was followed up by these allegations of the 13-year-old. So everything making sense now. You can't keep saying people lying. Jaguar Wright is like the voice of those who scared to speak up, and some want to speak up, but they done sign certain agreements to where it's like, I can't talk about this, or I jeopardize this, or whatever they put in the agreement. You know what I mean? But now here we are, like, look.
Man, I don't care what they got in some agreement. You got some bull going on, I'm gonna talk. Forget what I signed. Yeah, when I signed it, I wasn't signing up for this. I was signing for some contracts about some music and doing shows and singing and copyrights of writing. This aura and all this crazy putting drinks in other people, what goes on at these parties, I'm snitching. I would be the #1 snitch. Yeah. Don't give me one of those FOPs or LMNOPs or whatever y'all call them damn things.
Look at Lil Baby.
Look at this mess.
I jeopardize this or whatever they put in the agreement. You know what I mean? But now here we are, like, look at Lil Baby. I mean, you probably not too much into hip hop music, but Lil Baby was a few years ago the #1 rap artist in the world, Grammy nominated, double platinum records. And he recently did an interview with Charlemagne, who is a mainstream person. And his interview only did, to this day, like 45,000 views. Our last interview did 700-some thousand views. So people like Jay-Z is starting to look at that, like, these YouTubers or influencers or whatever they want to call us are becoming a problem now. They getting big. Like people are more interested in what Ronnie Bo got to say than what Lil Baby got to say, and he sold millions of records and Grammy nominated, maybe even a Grammy winner. You know what I mean? So now it's a different issue. So now that they seeing how powerful and influential people like me could become, now they have to intervene some way. Now they gotta somehow, I don't even know how he figured out that Sean Kelly wanted to interview me, but now you contact him and say, don't interview Ronnie Bo because I got a cease and desist against him. And you gonna end up like Piers Morgan, I'm guessing. He's insinuated basically, you know what I mean? So
that happens, and now obviously, well, like you just said, Jay-Z's trying to figure out how to shut you down, how to keep you, quiet. I'm sure he was thinking, one, assuming he's involved, like you're saying, assuming he's involved, one, he's going to take you out completely, and you're just not an issue anymore. But since it didn't happen, they were probably still thinking, hey, at least now he knows this is an issue, he's going to stop talking. But that's not what happened. Instead, you went on my platform. That video got 750,000 views. You went on Sean Atwood. You went on. Did you go on Jaguar right after that? Also, you went on a bunch of them.
Me and Jaguar, right on her channel, we discussed other things. And speaking of, Stevie Knight, my interview with him did like 400,000, and I was already speaking upon these things on Too Strong podcast with Corey, even prior to that. But yeah, it's been spreading.
Right. So you didn't stop talking. You know what I'm saying? You did what the goal was, of course, to get you to stop. Instead, what he does is he has his attorney write up a letter, an email, a cease and desist order, and he sends it to your probation officer. And I've been through this. I got a cease and desist order sent to my probation officer, and I was brought down. I got a phone call. Hey, where are you? I need you to be here at my office tomorrow at 9:00. They don't care if you got a job. They don't get it. I was like, okay. So meet me at she was very stern. Like, you be at my office. I was like, okay. Luckily, I knew what it was about. It was a guy I'd written a book on. He was trying to get the book taken down. He was trying to get me thrown in jail, thrown back in prison. I go down there. She tells me what happened. This is what happened. I got a letter. This guy says that you're giving a hard time. It it alleged a whole bunch of stuff, and it was basically telling me to stop talking about this guy. Luckily, in his letter, the guy's a pathological liar. He said a bunch of stuff that was untrue, like he had met me one time in prison. He never worked with me on a book. He never this. Luckily, I was able to pull a bunch of documents out and say, oh, he said he never worked with me? She's like, no. I was able to show core links or emails from him where he typed up stories and directed them to me and then given me the stories, the printed out version with his name and regulation number and everything. So she was like, she's looking at these. I'm able to show her that. Then he said we didn't have an agreement or anything. She's like, yeah. I go, boom. And I show her a contract. So I got a contract with this guy, signed contract. And I said, did he say that he says we don't have a contract and he didn't sign it? I flipped the page and I have a photocopy of my ID and his ID side by side on the same picture or on the same paper. So obviously I laid them down on the copy machine, made a copy at the same time. So we were clearly in the same room. Yeah. And this is clearly his signature. So I show her all that and she nodded. She was like, oh, okay. She's like, well, it's good that you have all this, right? Like, she's like, oh, okay. Because I can tell you right now, if I didn't have those documents, there was a good chance I might have had my probation violated. And so I know how serious it is when someone is sending stuff to your probation officer, because your probation officer doesn't want any problems. It's one piece of paper for them to fill out to get you thrown back in jail, and then it takes you 6 months to a year to unravel that whole situation to get yourself back out.
Isn't that terrible? Think about what he's saying. When they got you on papers, they don't want you to accidentally do nothing wrong. If you almost do something wrong, you can get thrown back in jail. You could be 100% right, like in his case. Go on, Matt, talk to him. Talk to him.
You are less paperwork in prison to them than you are out of prison. So that email was definitely directed to try and get you thrown back in prison.
But you know what? I had a visit with my PO yesterday, and we talked about these issues. I have a hearing coming up February 4th, revocation hearing, but it could go good and it could go bad. Like the judge said at the last hearing, October 3rd, I believe it was, that if Ronnie comes back with no violations and he's in compliance, then he's been on papers for over 3 years now, so we'll let him off. But if he come back with any more violations, because I sent you my court documents. I have allegations of pistol whipping somebody. That's serious. It's the reason I'm not locked up. You know what I mean? It's no witnesses said that this dude walked up to me with a gun. So whatever I did after that was self-defense. Okay. Then I got people, YouTubers going live, calling my PO live, showing their audience and putting my PO number on the screen saying Ronnie Martin is part of a RICO based in the United Kingdom. I'm assuming the only people I'm affiliated with out there is 𝗟𝗜𝗡𝗞𝗦 and his team. So I don't know where that's coming from, but many other allegations they made. But with all these allegations, my PO basically said, well, look, there's no proof. If I had proof, trust me, I would lock you up. I would have to lock you up. But I'm not going to even bring these allegations in front of the judge because there's no proof. And you already facing revocation for allegations that was never proven. So we can't just keep on bringing forth allegations with no proof. You know what I mean? So
Facts.
even under all these circumstances, the cease, desist, they can try to silence me. I'm still good. You know what I mean? Like I got a different force behind me, and people will assume that I'm some ignorant, illiterate guy, but I know what I'm doing. You know what I mean? I know things I can and cannot say without having legal consequence. And another thing I want to mention, because there have been a lot of bloggers insinuating that, you know, they're going to do it anyway. Every story that just seems too good to be true, they assume you lying, right? So with regards to the situation you just explained with the dude you was locked up with, you got to think, why has R. Kelly never came forth and tried to do that with me? And why he never came forth and say, Ronnie Bo lying? Now, I have proof. It's documented history that I was locked up with R. Kelly. I have a lawsuit with him, a part of the lawsuit from when we was in MCC Chicago together between 2019 and 2021, you know? But I mean, although his brother, Bruce Kelly, his brother actually did an interview with Too Strong about me, and he confirmed that, yeah, they cool, but he basically said R. Kelly is leery of me because he don't know my angle. He don't know why I'm being nice, why I help him get on general population. And to this day, like, R. Kelly is in jail and he's safe. And R. Kelly know that he's safe to this day because of me. You know what I mean? And that's not, some people could take that the wrong way and see that as a threat, but I'm not saying that if I wanted to go against R. Kelly, something bad happened to him. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying he's safe now because of me, and he know that. So it's a reason why, and that's one of the reasons, but there's other reasons why R. Kelly never came forth and said Ronnie Bo lying. And then you got to think he won't call me directly for certain reasons, but he will call people like Whack 100. I don't know if you're familiar with dude. I mean, a lot of people in the urban community are familiar with him. He not no factor, but he get a lot of views on YouTube. And I say he not a factor because his whole movement is to down other people and try to expose other people, even great people, you know what I'm saying? But for some reason, R. Kelly family and associates told him, when you want to call and get a message out, call Whack 100. Like, why you didn't just call me? I could have got you on Inside True Crime with Mac Cox, and you over there with Whack 100 on Clubhouse, and when you call him, you don't even get 10,000 views. But I'm the one out here, changing your image and making people look at you like, well, maybe he not guilty. Like, why you didn't call me? And I'm gonna tell you why. R. Kelly is terrified of people like Jay-Z and the people that Jay-Z have behind him. Like, his brother stated publicly in an interview that he feel like, I'm putting R. Kelly's life in danger by speaking on these things. You know what I mean?
Okay. I don't know why. I mean, it doesn't sound like you're saying anything derogatory about him. You're not, and there's plenty out there to say that's derogatory. You're not addressing that at all. You're like, that's just, he's already locked up for that. That's whatever it is, right? Like, and you're saying that he's perfectly fine and that he's safe, and so.
But see, R. Kelly, he know some of the discussions we had, and everybody should know R. Kelly know a lot that he don't speak on, and he probably regret talking to me and other inmates about certain things, especially me. Like, the other inmates probably don't have the associations to get on podcasts and articulate those conversations. But now it's like, this dude is in the spotlight and he talking about things we discussed, and that should have stayed between me and him. And his brother even admitted that R. Kelly is scared of Jay-Z and people behind Jay-Z for certain reasons. You know what I mean? Like, when they was on tour together, when they went to Madison Square Garden, Jay-Z had somebody pepper spray R. Kelly, and messed up the performance. But before then, R. Kelly was saying that Jay-Z had his people sending him threats, telling them don't even come there. You know what I mean? Like, Jay-Z wanted the show for himself. He knew that he could sell out this arena because R. Kelly name is attached to it. He later became big enough to sell out arenas by himself, but at that time he couldn't do it with R. Kelly. But he wanted that spotlight to be able to say, I did a sold out event at Madison Square Garden just by myself. You know what I mean? And he went to some extremes to do that. And according to Bruce Kelly, Diddy was actually on the stage with Jay-Z during the incident. So they been had these little ties. Like, they been working together, and it would be foolish for people to think that if Diddy is guilty of the things that they saying, that Jay-Z just ain't did none of this. You know what I mean? Like, I'm a straight man, and I honor my manhood, right? I don't have nothing against the LGBTQ community or gay man. However, you're not gonna see me hanging out with a gay man because my manhood is on the line. That'll make me look strange, weird. You know what I mean? So
facts.
Diddy and Jay-Z was as close as they obviously was. Like, what's the chances of Jay-Z at least not knowing what Diddy had going on, if not engaging in it? And when I spoke out about that, I tried to hold it in because, R. Kelly family, particularly his brother Bruce, was asking me not to speak on certain things. At this point, I have to speak on certain things because my life is already in danger. You know what I mean? So they already trying to blacklist me. They already trying to silence me. What do I got to lose? I might as well get my story out, you know what I mean, while I'm here. You know what I mean? So on Stevie Knight's show, first spoke out about the fact, well, I ain't gonna say a fact, I gotta say allegedly, but I spoke out about how Jay-Z had relations with Diddy, and they had to make these arrangements, as like for the same reasons why people have to sell their soul. You gotta be in compliance. You gotta do certain things to give allegiance to the people above you to show that you not getting beyond yourself. We put you in this position.
What he talking about now is facts. It's like we put you here, but we need proof that we can control you. And the drugs and everything, you in that position, you on drugs, so you're gonna go ahead and kind of comply, so to speak, because you want to keep that life going for yourself. It's interesting, man, how they put it together and everything. So they put it together to let you know that they own you. Basically, they own you. Think about it. I got something to say at the end.
To give allegiance to the people above you, to show that you not getting beyond yourself. You know, we put you in this position. You know, we raised you and we planned this out for you. You not here because of yourself. You know what I mean? We put you in this position, and we know that sometimes people get out of line. So we need to have something on you to make sure that you don't get out of line.
And
like the video of him using the bathroom on that little girl. He probably was on those horse drugs when that happened. He couldn't control himself, too many drugs, and they videoing him and telling him what to do and what not to do. Yeah. And then when he come to and he himself again, you know what's happening. Then all of a sudden, I did that? What? Yeah, we got you on tape. If you want the world to see what you done did, you better do what we tell you to do. Yup, that's what happens right here. Watch this.
You know, we raised you and we planned this out for you. You not here because of yourself. You know what I mean? We put you in this position, and we know that sometimes people get out of line. So we need to have something on you to make sure that you don't get out of line.
And these people are what? You think like the executives, like the people that run the entertainment industry or music industry?
Yeah, they the ones with the real control, you know.
You think that R. Kelly, well, and Diddy for that matter, and this one, because they're both in custody, do you think they're concerned about like a getting, what do they call it, being Epsteined? You know, like you keep saying that he's concerned or he's worried. Like you think he's worried for his life that something like that could happen?
Yeah, because I guess the public didn't know that R. Kelly know a lot until I started speaking on things. But it's like, come on, you was the biggest name in the music industry. You wrote for Michael Jackson and all these other big name musicians. Like, what's the chances of you not experiencing what they say all these other big time celebrities and musicians had to go through? People know R. Kelly know what's going on, and he just afraid to speak out on it. You know, it's they actually have like a brotherhood that Jay-Z is a part of, Diddy is. Like, it's no conspiracy theory or speculation no more. Like LeBron James and a lot of other celebrities, like, they are part of a brotherhood, and there's consequences when you speak out or go against what, you know, happens within the bounds of this brotherhood. It's consequences, and R. Kelly know that. So
the brotherhood.
Just like, what's his name, Epstein?
Well, you know, he got convicted. He's going to prison, and then suddenly, you know, people are worried about him talking, cooperating. They're worried about him, you know, publicizing a list that, you know, and next thing you know, offs himself. You know, supposedly offs himself, right? Like, you know, all the conspiracies between on whether or not that's true or not. But it was convenient that by the time he finally gets to a position where he's really his only choice to get out of prison or to mitigate the sentence is by starting to cooperate and throw, because, you know, you can fight do your appeals and everything else, but he's done. You know, so people are concerned he's going to cooperate, and next thing you know, boom, he suddenly ends up unalived in his cell. So, you know, it's like when you say he's worried or he's scared, like, you know, I'm wondering to what degree are you scared? Are you scared that you're gonna be sued? Are you scared that you see what I'm saying? Like, there's different degrees of being scared. You think his fear is no. His fear is the guards show up the next morning and he don't come out of his cell for count.
Yeah, his brother Bruce Kelly made that clear on Too Strong podcast. He told Corey during the interview that I asked Ronnie Bo to stop speaking out on these things because I'm in fear for my brother's life. I don't want nothing to happen to my brother while he's in jail. You know what I mean?
We got to check that out.
It's because I'm speaking out on things.
You know, is that because of the inmates or because of the system in general? You think that these people have enough power that they could just send somebody in there to?
Yeah, it's common.
Because he's in general population right now. He hadn't had any problems. A lot of guys like that aren't going to have problems, right? Like they could pay for protection. You putting
not R. Kelly though. Like, bro, you would think with him being as big and as accomplished as he is that he still have money. Like at the most, while I was in MCC Chicago with him, he had like 20-some thousand on his books. The feds took all that off his books at once. And then from there, he had to order through other people. Like, how this person send you $100 and you get me this. You know how I go in there.
But that's how they do protection. Like you're like, hey, you know, somebody's going to send you $400 a month, you know, and then you do that with 3 guys. Nobody, if it's the right 3 guys, nobody bothers you, you know. So I'm not saying he can't really move himself, but he can. You pick the 3 biggest guys or most dangerous guys or most respected guys. Sometimes it's not the biggest guy; it's just the most respected guy. You pay $400 on this guy, this guy, this guy, and then you put a little bit of money on a couple other guys that are buying you 75% of the money is going towards my commissary, and you guys keep 25%. Like that's that's kind of sometimes
that's typical. And
50-50s, you're gouging me. You know what I'm saying? But so typically about 25%, 30%, something like that.
I don't know
so
what the hell they talking about.
You know,
and don't want to know.
Like he should be. I'm saying protected. You know, like not feel like he shouldn't feel in fear of the inmates, who he probably feels in fear of.
Yes, yeah, he not in fear of the inmates at all. I mean, we know how I go, but you know, the inmates could. You know, Jay-Z probably know people locked up too, you know. Mm-hmm. But I just think that where he at and, you know, the relationships that we all built while in MCC Chicago, you know how I go in the feds, like certain things spread. Like you get here, you already know somebody who gonna be there. And you tell them, I know this person, and they vouch for you. So just as R. Kelly, he's safe in that sense. Like the inmates don't want to do nothing to him. But you know how it go though. Somebody could pay the inmate to do something to him. You know,
these guys can't be with you all the time.
But yeah, like
is he at a medium, or is he at Penn, or
he in FCI Butner?
What is that, a low?
Well, FCI is a medium.
Okay, yeah, never mind. I was going to say if he's at a low, he's probably not much danger at all. But at medium, there's dangerous people in the mediums. They're guys that, they're serious people.
Yeah.
What's going on with 𝗟𝗡𝗡? Right. Like, I mean, there's like a conspiracy out there now that people are saying like you and she are conspiring, that you had said there's some thing out there that is circling about a conspiracy.
Yeah, I think Jay-Z is directly behind that too, because he saw the impact that 𝗟𝗡𝗡 was having, and he saw that people were starting to listen to what I had to say, and he saw that me and her were communicating. You know, she mentioned me several times in several interviews. I went live with her on her channel before. I mentioned her several times, so people know that we were cool, to say the least. But they tried to make it seem like we were like bonded on a different level. Like we talk every day and we sit back and come up with plans and say, look, we gonna say this about Jay-Z next, and then we gonna have this person say that Jay-Z did something to them, and that's how they trying to make it seem. And
you were both talking about this. She's been talking about this forever. You've been talking about this on your own before you even connected with her. So
yeah, but it's a lot going on. Like I had got an email that somebody forwarded to me, was basically saying, look what 𝗟𝗡𝗡 sent me, and I didn't even think twice that it was really her when I saw the email. Like the email was her bashing me. Apparently, that was the appearance. It wasn't her to get that straight, but somebody made an email and made it seem like this was Jaguar Wright, and she had emailed somebody else, and then they forwarded to me, said, "Look, did you know Jaguar Wright was behind your back saying this?" And I didn't even like. I get a lot of stuff like that, and I told Jag myself that I get a lot of messages like this, but this is how I handle it. So I don't have to bring it to your attention every time. Just know I'm not gonna go against you for nothing in the world. You know what I mean? And we got that understanding, but you know, I guess they thought we was like coming together and making plans together, and they could probably see the potential of me and her working together. You know, we could probably do great things, but to prevent that, if we was making plans together, they want to make our association with each other seem like something criminal, a conspiracy. And that's what they put out there. You know, that's what was sent to my probation officer, that I'm a part of a conspiracy with her. I'm a part of a conspiracy with somebody in the UK, some type of RICO, like all type of just outrageous things that they think would silence me and make me stop getting on these platforms and speaking out. But of course, like I'm not gonna ever stop, you know. Matt, I think you should actually interview a friend of mine. His rap name is Jack It Down. He was in mainstream media a while back, and Breakfast Club and a lot of other mainstream sources for not so good of a reason. However, I think you should interview him because he had personal experiences with Diddy. He been to a Diddy party, and he didn't really see nothing outrageous, but the vibe and what people was doing, he didn't want to be around, and he left. And Diddy didn't like that, so Diddy, you know, they had a ways to blacklist people, and when you don't want to cooperate or sign with them or be a part of what they got going on, they find ways to like ruin your career and your reputation. So, you know, then they want you to feel like we can't be successful without Diddy or Jay-Z or certain people. You know, they gatekeepers. That's how they want that type of power, and they want everybody to accept that they have that type of power. So that's I threw that out there, and I already told him that you may be willing to interview him about those experiences. But in closing, I have a few announcements that I want to make to my supporters. That is, now the last interview I did with Matt Cox, please understand that interview did over 700,000 views, and I gave out my personal cell phone number during this interview. And I've been working hard to send everybody a free ebook, Matt. And I managed to send at least 6,500 people a free ebook myself through texting and emailing. However, I still have like 1,600 the last time I checked that I have to catch up with. And that's not, I can usually cover maybe 100 people in an hour. So I say I sit down for 4 hours a day, try to do that. I should be done in about 4 days. So I'm gonna make sure everybody get that. But for the ones who did receive it, I need y'all to speak up in the comment section and just let people know you received your ebook, you know. And now I have a new book coming out. It's entitled Conspiracy to Colonize Our Culture. I'm gonna be exposing some people, some podcasters. You know, everybody not like you, Matt. You know, people have agendas. I had a podcaster.
Facts.
They wanted me to set up a YouTube page and Patreon and things like that through them, for them to run it. And they assured me that they could get me at least 2,000 subscribers at $8 a subscriber, right? Which would have been $16,000 per month. However, they tried to control my narrative. You know, they thought that they could buy me out, and I ain't like that. And I turned the opportunity down because, like, I want to speak about things that I feel like I need to speak about for a certain reason. Like, I'm a man of God, and even all my books, I feel like God actually worked through me to write those books. And I'm really dedicated to where I believe my purpose is in life. So I'm exposing a lot in that book. I think your audience would be very interested in that. But just so y'all know, y'all got to be mad at Matt because he told me don't give this one out for free. That was him. So
I don't understand why you would give anything out for free.
Yeah, me too.
Well, I felt like with me being
I said that too.
a newcomer,
$2, $5, something. You know what I'm saying? Something.
that's what I'm gonna do
$2.
this time. I'm gonna just set the price for $5. Shout out to
Damn, I
Brittany.
would
Thanks
buy.
for connecting me with Brittany. She working on a website for me now. She put the other books out. Another thing I want to let my supporters know is that I am like permanently banned on Facebook, which makes me permanently banned on Instagram as well.
Really?
They haven't done that to too many people. I can name a few. Alex Jones, I believe David Icke, and Minister Louis Farrakhan.
Wow,
So
that's
why
crazy.
Ronnie Bo? You know, I know I'm not making that much of an impact as those guys were, but it's a reason for
Wow.
that. So start looking into the things that I say. It's a reason that the world don't want these things to be publicized, and we got to thank people like Matt Cox for allowing me to publicize certain things and not holding back. Matt, I believe I believe we are like one of a kind. We come from similar paths. You know, we've been to the Fed, so I can understand why you would let a guy like me get on your channel and just say whatever I want to say, and I appreciate that. But some people don't. They trying to really silence me. And my final announcement is that, believe it or not, like, I don't gangbang no more, but I grew up what you would call a gangster disciple. We refer to it as the growth and development movement. Those who come from that organization. I'm not a part of that no more, but there's a mega star named Kanye West. He goes by the name Ye now. He has certain ties to that organization, and within the organization, we have this philosophy that we aid and assist all brothers of the struggle in all righteous endeavors, right? So believe it or not, but I got in contact with Kanye West, and I have a new album coming out. He actually gave me a lot of insights about the industry, you know, and particularly people like Jay-Z, but we did have a business talk as well, and he is willing to produce instrumentals, the beats for a few of the songs on my album, and possibly a verse, so people can expect that. And I'm happy to announce that to my supporters. And other than that, look for the new book, Conspiracy to Colonize Our Culture. And by the time you see this interview out, you should have the link in the description, right, man?
Absolutely. Did
My
you
man.
see the Mark Zuckerberg kind of the new improved Mark Zuckerberg, where he did a little video saying, well, we're going to be making some changes, and we're not going to be basically censoring the content anymore, right? They're getting rid of their fact checkers, because he realizes that they have an agenda, or some of them have agendas, and that he's going to do more like community notes and not be taking down stuff. So maybe there's a way for you to get back on Instagram, you know, and Facebook. Like, that might be, I wonder if you can appeal it somehow with their new policy. We suspended your account. Okay.
And then I can't even create another. Like, every time I try to create another account that got anything to do with Ronnie Bo, and it is, no, this account seems to be associated with an account that we suspended. Like, wow, y'all got this. I know y'all got the technology, but y'all watching like that now?
So hopefully,
Wow, that's
Facebook's
crazy.
much easier to deal with and more friendly, and maybe you can get your account back up.
If you want people to contact you, where do they find you at? Since you know Facebook and Instagram are down.
The website should be in the description, and I gave my phone number out again. I gave it out but I'm not going to do that again because I received too many calls. I'm pretty sure if I take it off D&D right now, there are going to be calls flooding in and texts. And then if I can't send the ebooks on time, people are going to get frustrated. So I'm not going to do that again. But when I gave the number out, the benefit in that was that I was able to build a mass email list for constant contact and a mass text list. So the people who reached out interested in that book, now I have a way to constantly contact them. So even though I gave the first book out for free, the last book out for free, that is, now with the new book, I can send it to them, and Matt said charge $5, and I'm pretty sure people will be happy to pay $5 this time.
You would be hearing me in the comic book.
Shut up, man.
Hey, you guys, I appreciate you watching. Do me a favor, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell so you get notified of videos just like this, and share the video. That really does help us. It helps us spread the message. Also, we're going to leave all of Ronnie's links in the description box, so go in there. You'll be able to just click on the link and shoot over to his website and get the book, and maybe he'll even have an Instagram up by then. Once again, I appreciate you guys watching. Please consider joining our Patreon. It's $10 a month, and it really does help us make videos like this. Thank you very much.
Most
See ya.
definitely, man. I ain't gonna talk too much because my voice is gone. But one thing I do know is Matthew Cox got it going on. Ronnie Bo, we showing you love from the Philippines, bruh. This what me and Ronnie Bo talked about. Is imagine R. Kelly was, you know, imagine he having all these, I guess, drugs in his body, crazy drugs, and they telling him what to do, man. Camera there, ain't trying to hide the camera. Long story short, yo, we got you on film. He don't even realize what he was doing. So that's what started the whole thing. So it's a lot behind if you say, well, you got him on film and this is what happened. It's more to it than that. So look here, I'm gonna get on up out of here, man. I can barely talk. Y'all take it light, take it slow. Tell them Uncle Mike told you so. Thank all the subscribers. Thank y'all so much. Love my subscribers, man. Y'all made this channel grow up. Peace out, man, from the Philippines.